This is what we're making today. Once upon a time in Mondstadt. This is a Yukon Gold potato. We're going to cut it into thirds. Then we're going to take the top and bottom half and cut it into 6 pieces. And as for the middle part of the potato, we're going to cut it in half and then cut them into wedges. These wedges will be used as placeholders to hold the steak. In this bowl are the wedges, and in this bowl are the top and bottom halves. Now we're going to boil the potatoes. In a pot of hot water, we're going to put in half a teaspoon of baking soda and half a cup of sea salt. I don't know what the point was in me separating the potatoes, but we're throwing them all in the same pot and then mixing it, because that makes sense. We're going to bring this to a boil and then cook them for about 10 minutes. You know it's done if you can easily pierce it with a dull knife. If you guys are wondering why I put baking soda into the water, it's to break down the pectin, giving the potatoes a rough surface and a higher crunch. Do you see that rough surface? That's what you want. After cooling and drying the potatoes for about 30 minutes, we're going to lather it with olive oil. We're also going to give it a generous seasoning of salt and pepper, and that's it. We're going to give these potatoes a little toss and onto a sheet pan, and then throw it into a preheated oven of 450 degrees Celsius. We're going to bake it in there for 30 minutes. These are 3 8-ounce sirloin steaks. We're going to season these steaks generously on all sides with salt and pepper. While I rub my meat, this is where I remind you to smash that like button and hit the notification bell for new videos. And if you really like what you see, hit the subscribe button. It's at the bottom right of your screen. Now, in a smoking hot pan, I mean smoking, we're going to lay our steaks down. We're going to sear our steaks, flipping it every 30 seconds until we develop a good golden brown crust. The reason why I'm flipping it every 30 seconds is to prevent it from burning and also promote even cooking. Every time we flip the steak, the top part will cool down. What this will do is prevent our steak from having that thick gray area from the surface of the steak to the middle. It will promote a more even pink throughout the steak. These sirloin steaks were about 1.5 inches thick and took about 7 minutes to sear. And this is what you want, a nice golden brown crust. After the final flip, we're going to turn off the heat and add a nub of butter. At this point, the pan's off. We're going to let the residual heat melt that butter and then add in our garlic and thyme. We're going to baste these steaks in the pan for about 2 minutes. This will finish off the cooking to medium rare at low heat and infuse our steaks with a nutty brown butter, thyme and garlic flavor. Once it's done cooking, we're going to set it aside, letting it rest for 15 minutes. While it's resting, our potatoes should be finishing as well. Now let's plate. So before we eat this, let's cut into it. Let's see how well cooked the steaks were. These steaks were probably not the best cuts for this dish because it doesn't have a lot of surface area. But anyways, the moment of truth. Look how beautifully picked that is. Perfect medium rare. Anyways, back to the plating of these steaks. Honestly, I should have pounded these steaks down a little bit. It was so hard to balance these steaks and potatoes on top of each other without a lot of surface area. But I piled them up high anyways, so it's all good in the end. And as for the taste, I mean, it's steak and potatoes. It's hard to screw this up. Anyways, if you guys like what you see, hit the like button. And if you guys have any suggestions on what I should cook next, please post in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe.